Manchester City are going crazy in this transfer window. And it's funny how for a team that has over 100 charges of violations of transfers and stuff placed on them, it's funny how they are so bold to sign, like, be signing players left and right. But I read somewhere that they are confident of beating all those charges. It's just some technicality or something. I don't know. That's what I read somewhere. So I hope I actually hope they beat it, because I don't like to see, clubs go through this kind of thing, and it's like whatever they've won is under scrutiny and all that. So I really hope they beat it. But so far, Manchester City have made three signings, if I'm not wrong. Well, three big signings or three major signings, because I think they signed a few other players. I saw one Norwegian guy, but all those ones are a little under the radar. So the three big ones are Reinders, Aitunuri, and then Ryan Cheki, if I'm not wrong. If there's any other, I'm not, at the time of recording, I mean, these are the three major players that City have signed. So I was talking to a friend of mine. He was talking about how some of them are not even worth it and stuff. So yeah, I want to give my personal opinion on if these signings are worth it, or are even good enough to play for Manchester City. So I'll start with Reinders. Reinders. So he signed from AC Milan, 60 odd million. I think it's 60 plus, if I'm not wrong. And AC Milan didn't have the best of seasons, if you are being honest, because they struggled a lot. They started well. They won the Super Cup with Consensao, where he came in fresh. It was big for them, because they are not used to winning nowadays. So they did well there. They started well, but along the way they dropped off. But when I think of their season and I think of Reinders, I remember that game against Real Madrid. The guy, he was phenomenal. The guy was their best player on the pitch. They had Rafael Leao and all these other guys, but Reinders was their best player. So for 60 million, I think Reinders, I've watched Reinders a couple of times, and I think he's good enough. He's good enough to merit 60 million. The problem I have with Reinders is his age, because mind you, he's not old, like old, but he's getting there in football. In football, once you get to 30, you're old. And I think he's about 28, if I'm not wrong, 27, 28, or 29, that range. And he's close to the early 30s. So that's my only problem with him, because I heard that they signed him to replace KDB. And I was thinking, if you want to replace KDB, you want a long term replacement. Someone who can be there for, because even KDB himself is not that old. He's like 33 or 34, but he's already being shipped out. And he has been in the club for over 10 years. So that's why I feel like Reinders, right? That's the only negative I have with Reinders, the age barrier. Yeah, because I think he won't last too long. Maybe he might have a good 3, 4 seasons, and then that'll be it. Maybe he's good enough for Pep. Maybe Pep won't be there long enough. Maybe that's why he took a player like Reinders. So all in all, I'll say Reinders is worth it, and he's good enough to play for City. On to the next, Ryan Aitunuri, left back from Wolves. I don't actually remember his price tag. I don't think it's more than Reinders, but I don't remember his price tag. All of you who watch Premier League, when the EPO, when I think about a player like Aitunuri, all I see is inconsistency and faulty, but good going forward, and then doing the Marcelo left back stuff, dribbling and stuff. That's what I think when I see poor defensively, good offensively. That kind of the stereotype of the fullbacks. So I don't remember the price tag, but I don't think it's more than Reinders. And even if it was like 50 million, I think he merits it. He's good. He just needs to work a little bit on his defending. And then he's young. He's a young guy. I think he's below 23 or something. He's very young. And Pep Pep likes the Algerians. He liked Mares. He likes Itinerary. He likes Cheki. I don't know if Cheki is Algerian by descent, but like, yeah, I think he has some love for those guys because they are close to Spain. So I think he has some love for them. So all in all, I'm not sure with Itinerary. I'm not sure because I think he has to start playing before we see what happens. City were using the tall guy from the academy, O'Reilly. Is it O'Reilly? Yeah, O'Reilly as a fullback, as a left back. And O'Reilly is not a left back. O'Reilly is actually a number 10. So yeah, I understand Pep signing him. So all in all, for Itinerary, I'll be in the middle. I'm not sure because he can be a very faulty guy when City on the back foot. So going forward, I think you give Pep what he wants. He has some nice dazzling feet and all that. So yeah, that's it for Itinerary. And finally, Ryan Cherky. Guys, I can't tell you how good it feels to see a player like Ryan Cherky emerge. A maverick of the game, a player with a mind of his own, especially to see how technical and robotic the game has become now. A player like Ryan Cherky, listen, it's the Mavericks that made us fall in love with the game. Nobody fell in love with football because of technical system play. And we all fell in love with the game because of the Ronaldinho's and all these other guys. So when I see a player like Ryan Cherky, left foot, right foot, dribbling, pace, finishing, he just has to work on a few things. Ryan Cherky has every chance of being the best player in the world. Not even just the best player in France, the best player in the world. Because when you watch him, you get excited. He brings that excitement, and I'm so happy that Pep has bought him. And I hope Pep doesn't destroy him, because I hope Pep gives him the freedom to play and to express himself on the pitch. And once you give players like Ryan Cherky, the Mavericks, once you give them the freedom to express themselves, trust me, you are going to get your money's worth. So, all in all, I think Ryan Cherky is worth it. They got him for 32 million. They got him for 32 million, if I'm not wrong. 32 million. I don't know how a player like Ryan Cherky goes for 32 million. And I'm forced to believe that it's something in a contract or like a release clause when he was younger or something like that. But if it's not that, I'll be so amazed that Lyon allowed him to go for 30 odd million. So yeah, Ryan Cherky is definitely worth it, and I'm looking forward to watching him next season. Next season, my team to watch is Manchester City, and I think they are going to reclaim their title.